All right, guys, so I am back. I'm sorry I've been gone. Hopefully you guys went over the graphic novel, comics and novels Nearpod. If you didn't, you need to go back. Because what we're gonna do is up until spring break, we're gonna read the graphic novel, finish it. And then after that, when we get back from spring break, we're gonna read 2 comic books and then we're gonna have a project. So that should take us up real close to start testing. All right. I did do a recap video yesterday to cover everything that we covered up until Snowmageddon, because that seemed like a really long time ago. So you can watch that if you have any questions. I think that's it. So the way we're gonna work the graphic novel is I do realize that it's hard to read. I have provided a link so that you can zoom in on the words. But what we're gonna do is actually read it in class. I'll read it to you guys to make it easier. It'll go really fast because we only need to read about 9 slides a day to make sure that we finish it. And that way you guys don't have any homework that you have to do and we can still have discussions over it, all right? As long as you guys are participating and paying attention, I will not assign any assessments or any work related to it. But if I see that y'all are like sleeping or not involved or not, paying attention, then I'm gonna go ahead and start assigning assessments. Okay? Sound fair? All right, so today, basically what we're gonna do is analyze the first 9 slides of Legend. I do realize again that it was hard to read and I didn't provide the link until late in the day. So I'm gonna read those to you. And then share observations of the text through guided questions in the forms of class discussions and practice active listening and effective communication skills. And again, we're just gonna take a look at slides pretty much 1 through 19 today. All right, any questions? You guys, if you haven't turned stuff in, you need to start really getting it in. I'm only taking off like 10 points for really late work, and it has to be like crazy late for me to take off the points. So please just get it in. It's in your best interest. It's harder to fail my class than it is to pass. The state assessment, please, if you didn't do it, let me know.
Which one?
The state writing assessment. And there's certain kids that really, really need to make sure to get it in. I think you know who you are. If you were called to a lab at any point this week, I need that writing assessment from y'all for all your classes, okay? So I really need you guys to make sure that you're getting those done, okay? Any questions? Perfect. All right, so let's take a look at it. So how many of you actually were able to read it? Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so-
can read like half.
Yeah, so from now on, you're gonna see a link like this, and if you click it, it's gonna take you to the actual like Google Slides, and you can zoom in on the words. But again, we're gonna be reading it in class, so let's just take a look at it. So, and plus I have the book, so that makes my life easier. So this is Los Angeles, California, Republic of America, population 20,174,282. Okay, so what does this indicate, the Republic of America? It's not a republican now, not a democracy anymore, right? And does it look like it's in good shape? No. Okay, so then it says lake sector. So now we're broken into sectors. And it says right here, mom's not going to be home from work in time to see you off. Don't worry, Daniel, I'll be waiting for you at the stadium when they let you out. You've got dad's pendant, right? It's good luck. So what can we tell just from these images?
That they're poor.
They're poor, right? What can we maybe gauge from the conversation?
He might go to school.
He might be going to school. Where's the parents?
Oh, yeah, they're probably constantly working.
Yeah, we know at least the mom is working, right, constantly. And then he has a good luck pendant from the dad. What does that normally indicate when you have something like that?
He died.
The dad, gone, right? So,
Like every main character.
yeah. Chipper, right? We're starting off all nice and warm feels. Okay. Then it says, hey, you got nothing to worry about. If a dummy like me can pass their trial, you'll breeze through, no problem. Then you'll come work with me at the steam plant. Keep your chin up, all right? Sure, John. And then they hug. So what can we gauge from that? Huh?
I thought that was the mom.
No, that's not the mom, that's the brother, John. So so we know there's a trial, right? So it's some sort of test.
It's like you have to pass these to work.
Yeah. And does it seem like it's just a test or? No,
No.
it seems pretty significant, right? He looks very like conflicted and perplexed by it. Okay, a little bit worried. So what's the tone so far? Or the mood, let's talk about, because remember the tone is the way the author feels about it. Let's talk about the mood that's inspired. What kind of mood is it? Frustrated, nervous, scared, right? Something's up, right? We can sense something's up. So now he goes from where he was at, which was pretty broken down, right? And now he goes here, right? He jumps the fence and this, it says 100-meter hurdles, Daniel Alton Wing, 12.4 seconds, okay? I don't know if that's a good time. I'm assuming it's a good time, but Miss Garcia does not run. Yeah, I don't run, so we'll just, unless somebody's chasing me. All right, so now he's in front of a panel of people and it says, Daniel Alton Wing, it says here you enjoy history. What else do you like doing in school? Reading. Very nice. And what do you think of our illustrious elector Primo? And he says he's a good man and a great leader. Good, good. So illustrious leader, what kind of terminology does that tend to be used for?
What did you say?
An illustrious leader,
Communist.
right? Like those dictators type thing, right? So, and then now she takes a test, he takes a test, and he says, that wasn't so hard. I know I aced it. Guys daydreaming, mom probably cut her hands at work again. I'll help her make dinner tonight. And the man says, come with me. So does it seem like he's struggling?
No.
No, he seems like he's actually doing pretty well, right? Is this a good sign?
Yeah. Yes.
The come with me?
Oh, no.
I was like,
I'm gonna get slaughtered.
You kill
So-
all the people that don't miss the trial.
so
Or do
then he's walking down this hallway and it has pictures of families and stuff. So it looks all happy, right? And he says, what's going on? And he says, wait here. Okay, I want all of you to file out of the door and I don't want any pushing or shoving. And he says, he thinks this is bad. This is really bad. Okay? Do you guys really think it's bad?
Yes.
Yeah, that seems kind of sketch, right? And then do you notice that there's a guy with a gun here?
Yes.
So,
He's still alive.
yeah,
It's
They're
like
gonna
a-
get shot.
there's about to be some issues.
That's
So,
like, firing squad.
yeah, maybe.
Like,
So he looks out the window because now he's on a bus, which is never good if they put you on a bus randomly, you don't know where you're going. And he sees his brother, John, because remember, John said he was gonna pick him up.
Why is he
Right.
so tall now? His brother was not that tall.
yes, he was.
His brother was tall. Yes, he was. So this is the look of the brother. Does that look good?
No.
Okay.
Very good, very good.
And he says, I can't believe it. I failed my trial. They're sending me to the labor camps. So now what do we know about the Republic of America?
Free labor.
Well, there's labor camps, right? Which is never, ever a good sign. Okay, so, and even though he thought he aced it, obviously something went wrong, right? But he seems pretty smart, yes?
Or maybe he passed it.
Maybe he passed it too well. Okay. So then it takes him to this dark sketch place, right? And the next thing we know, Mr. Daniel is on the table strapped to it. And he says, let me go, stop it. Why aren't you sending me to the cats? Stop. And then he screams, I'm not gonna make the loud scream. Please stop. So, and there's this thing, it says, this actually says his name, Daniel Alton Wing.
Blood sample.
Yep. And then he says, please. And then the guy says, I think you killed him. Okay. So obviously they're not, he's not going to a labor camp, right? He's being experimented on. Does this bode well for Daniel? No, no, I don't. All right. Then we see him being dumped, like he's about to be dumped with all these other kids. Yeah.
All those kids
Yeah. And none of them seem to really care, right? They're just kind of dumping them, but then he says alive. He gasps and he's alive, and he says, "I'm alive." He stands up and sees the kids, and then he says, "Someone made a mistake, and I'm going to make sure the Republic regrets it."
You know, it's the third page. Chill out.
It got real serious real fast, right? So now it switches here, and it says, 5 years later, wanted criminal Day breaks into bank vault, steals 10,000 notes. Day tortures entire squadron of fighter jets. Reward for any info leading to capture of terrorist day. Terrorist Day vandalizes military building. But do they know who Day is?
No.
We're gonna assume it's a little blonde boy.
We're gonna assume, right? We can infer that and make a prediction that it's probably this kid right
He
here. right?
made the Republic pay.
Yes. And so it's 5 years later, right? So
He's what, 12?
I think
If he's still there, 5 years later, he's like, what?
17.
He's busting up an entire republic that has been made for hundreds of years, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They went bankrupt from a 17-year-old.
We'll see. I guess we'll see all the damage he really does do. Okay, so now
Where's John?
we're back, okay? We know this is Daniel's house, right? And now they put this sketchy symbol on it. And obviously, what can we tell by the way this is drawn? What's,
Binoculars.
he's looking from binoculars, so he's far away, right? And then at the end, it says, it's Eden test, he's got the plague. He doesn't look too bad yet, but, so who can we infer Eden is?
the mother. the
No.
son.
Well,
The
this
blonde
is
boy.
John, this
His
is the
wife.
mom,
Okay.
so
That's his-
Eden would probably be who?
John's son?
Not-
A child. Maybe
A younger brother.
Yeah.
So there was 3 brothers, okay?
Oh.
Okay, and now he definitely looks older, right?
Also, you got replaced.
He didn't get replaced, the kid was already born.
Wow.
No,
He could
no,
be
bro.
five.
He don't.
A little 10.
They say, oh, your other brother died. We're gonna replace him.
Yeah, that's exactly what they. So he's not alone, right? So who's this?
An ally.
Tess. Her name's Tess. And she says, "What are you going to do?" He says, "I've never seen a plague symbol like that." So now not only is it the plague, but it's probably a different what? Strain, right? We know those terms now, right? COVID. It's probably a different strain. And it seems pretty serious, right? So again, he's still looking at the house and he says, it could be a new kind of plague, a more virulent strain. And she says, Day, and he's, what are you going to do? I'm going to get Eden some meds, right? So where do you think those meds are being held?
Facility.
A facility, right? So he's about to go on an adventure in a minute. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's kind of hiding when I have that long hair. Okay, so now we switch, right? We switch. We're not on Daniel anymore. So we have a girl. Oh, it's just a girl. And here's a helicopter. And remember we talked about the sounds? They write them out. So whoop, whoop, whoop. What do we call those in literature? Sounds. Onomatopoeias. Beautiful. And then it says, there she is. And then it gets closer, right? She's pretty high up. So what can we tell about her already?
She's experienced.
She's a daredevil.
She's a daredevil. She's experienced, right? Okay, then they throw a net on her. Okay, and what is that word?
Bam.
Oh, it's bam. Bam.
Bam.
Bam. Yeah. And then she says, heh, right? She says 14 floors in 6 minutes, 44 seconds, 20 seconds better than last time. Not bad. So obviously she's done this before. Obviously not afraid of heights, right? And then this guy here says, suspended for a week. You want to explain this to me, June? I get back from spending all day dealing with patriot rebels. What do I hear about? My little sister scaling a skyscraper. And she says, sorry, Matthias. Do we really think she's sorry though? But that's an interesting setup, right? So we know Daniel has an older brother, right? And now we meet June and she also has an older brother, right? So there's similarities already. But what can we tell about her that's different from Daniel?
She's
You live in
rich.
upper
She has money.
She's upper class, right? And what does her brother do
He works.
I couldn't read any of
for the
this.
Republic, right? And who is he, who are the type of people he's looking for?
Like they.
Yeah, Day, right, the rebels. Okay, so she jumps in the vehicle and she says, and then he says, what were you thinking? You're 15, you wandered right off campus. So she's 15. So we can assume that Daniel is about at least over what age?
At least 18.
He's at least over 15, right? Because they look about similar ages, right? So, or he might be a couple of years older. She doesn't look too like interested in the whole conversation. And she says, hi, Thomas. And he says, June. And he says, just once I'd appreciate it if you let me do my daily tours of duty without worrying myself sick over what you're up to. And then he says, where, sir? Where to, sir? And he says, just home, Thomas, thanks. So what can we infer from this conversation right here?
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's, but why is he protecting them?
Because the Republic is evil.
Their parents?
I guess their parents work for, I guess they're like higher ups. I don't know.
Well, he says he's having to look after her
Oh.
and worry
They're
about
dead.
her.
They're
So they're not in the picture. They're more than
Not
likely dead,
existent.
right? So now we got a girl with both her parents dead, be taken care of the brother by the brother, and then we have Daniel, whose dad is probably dead, and mom works 24/7 and is taken care of by her brother, right? So we're setting up some parallels there. So- Huh? Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, we didn't talk about them there. So now it says Ruby Sector, right? And they're having a conversation. You really scared me today. I was afraid they'd mistake you for Day and shoot you. Hey, Ollie. Oh, please, as if anyone would let anything happen to the Republic's favorite little prodigy. Rumor has it Day once scaled 5 stories in less than 8 seconds. If the Republic's most wanted criminal can pull that off, then how are we going to catch him if we're not just as fast? And then it says sigh, right? I'll be home late tonight. I'm overseeing the lab at LA Central, and no, you can't come with me. You know, if you just take me along on some of your missions, I'd probably stay out of trouble. Nice try. You're not going anywhere until you graduate from Drake and get assigned to your own patrol. Love you, Junebug. I'm not going to wait up for you. So what have we found out now?
That she's still in high school.
Rebellion.
Or she's still taking the test.
Yeah, she hasn't probably taken the test yet. She's still in high, like some sort of high school. Is she just any old student?
No.
No, she's the Republic's favorite, right? The whole government's favorite student, right? And where's he going?
On a mission.
LA.
LA Lab Central, to the labs. What's that foreshadowing?
Where
The
those
mad
kids
star,
are.
I guess. Day's gonna steal something.
Day's probably going to a lab to get medicine,
Oh,
and now the
fair
brother
play.
is going to a lab, right? So who's probably gonna encounter each other?
Them.
Him.
And then she says, I'm not gonna wait up for you. So she's probably gonna follow.
Yeah, and she tries to use the whole like guilt trip, right? If you just take me with you, I wouldn't get in trouble, right? She uses that thinking. That was my son's favorite line of thinking.
Mm.
It didn't work too well. So. All right. So that was the first 9 pages. Went by pretty fast, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Like, even though it's 9 pages a day, it's gonna go by pretty fast. So obviously we have a change in, yeah, scenery. It's nighttime now. Who's this?
And probably the kid.
It's Daniel, who we now know is called Day. Okay, so we have Day and June. And it says LA Central Hospital. So we see that it's guarded. There's a nurse with a clipboard. And then it shows that he's carrying something here, but it doesn't really show what he's carrying. Oh, okay, so it's
Oh,
a,
hair dye.
no, it's like a vial of like blood,
Oh.
because he's acting like he's coughing.
Why is his hair brown? Unless that's a
Oh,
different
he also
person.
has the dye, yeah. So he probably dyes it and then So it shows everything that on his face, so maybe he just used it to look dirty. So he staggers up and he says, "Oh, can I be admitted, cousin? I can pay." And the lady says, "Pat him down. Be careful of my stomach. Waiting rooms on the left, have a seat." So what do we know about hospitals now? Can you just walk in?
No.
No, you have to be admitted. And what do you also have to have? Money. And can you just, even with you have money, can you just? walk in?
Dinero.
Yeah, you have to have the note. But you also have to be patted down, so they're looking for weapons, right? So it's pretty locked down facility.
Why are they so short?
Really so short.
The guy is not even down.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, they were like kind of bending, hunching. So he passes even more people, right? And isn't this, I
That's
think
the
that's,
brother.
that's the brother, right? Matthias, right? That's Matthias.
So
And he
that's the
looks at,
lab.
well, the lab is probably within the hospital. So, but he kind of, he takes notice of him, right? He looks at him. So,
That dude is dead on the floor.
yeah, I was gonna say, this dude's dead. Is it affecting anybody?
No. they're like,
Alright.
no.
They're probably like, hey, I get to go sooner, right? Like, this dude's like- So then he says, "I need a bathroom." He stumbles and he touches this guy. And he says, "Over there, you touch me again, I'll shoot you." Right? So he's causing like a distraction almost so that he can be sent somewhere else. Then he says, "Oh," and then what does he have?
His ID.
A card. Oh, he pickpocketed.
He pickpocketed this guy,
Nice.
right? So now we see him in the bathroom. And then. He's kind of changed, right? He's cleaned up a little bit and he climbs up through the vent. Then we see the lab. He kicks it, wham. Again, what's that called? Onomatopoeia.
I'm not even gonna try to say it.
Yeah, remember Miss Garcia can't spell it, so you want to say it. Okay. So then he jumps down. Now, what kind of stance do we call this?
A superhero landing.
The superhero landing, right? So what does this indicate?
He's
He's
the
like something
hero, he's the
heroic.
protagonist.
He's probably a hero, right? They call him a rebel, but it's kind of setting him up as the hero.
I mean, he's got a dead parent, you know, love art.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, he actually does have a dead parent, right?
Yeah.
The dad,
It's just like that one,
and you just said a love arc. Who might he have a love arc with?
that one, oh,
June.
the other girl,
The
yeah.
other girl, June, right?
I
But
knew it.
but let's see how that happens, okay? So he grabs this guy and he says, "Everyone stay back." So can we see how come they may not know what he looks like?
Yeah.
Because he's changed his
He has
hair
a
and he covers his
bandana,
face.
it's got different hair.
And it says, "Release the doctor, put your hands up." This dude snort. He must be a new recruit. So obviously they're new,
You're
right?
supposed to shoot on sight.
Exactly. They're not shooting him. Okay, so,
Take out the doctor.
Use him as a meat.
I mean, they had that one guy just dead on the floor, so obviously death is not a big deal. So then it says, "I won't hurt you. Where are the plague cures?" So the guy doesn't say anything, but he does the side glance, right? And he's right over there. And then he says, "Show me." So the guy reaches up and he opens it and it says, "Ugh." And then these are all different names. It says virus mutation, suppressant, and pain management. And then it says 1130 cures. I'm sure that's how they label them in real life. So then he smacks him and pushes him down and he says fire and they start shooting. What are they shooting at?
The
Metal.
They're hitting the door, right? And again, you have your sound effects.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, ricochet. Yeah.
Ricochet, ricochet.
And I-
That's what I wondered, right? Wouldn't it have ricochet?
Yeah,
Unless it gets embedded in the door, unless it's not thick enough.
Yeah,
But
I
then wouldn't
think,
it go through?
I think the
think
bullet
it
needs to be
has-
thinking.
God.
I don't think bullets work like they do in movies.
Yes.
Like, they're not gonna shoot a metal door and it bounces.
Exactly.
Isn't it like?
Why not?
But here's my question. So on both of these pages, is there a lot of dialogue?
No.
No, but there's a lot going on, right? So this is one of the key differences, remember? from a novel to a graphic novel is it uses the illustrations to move the story forward. So you, instead of saying, okay, he grabs the doctor and this and that, it just shows it to you.
It's mentioning that and like, there's like no music in the background, it's just completely quiet.
Yeah,
That would be so intense.
yes. And so,
Yeah, he got shot.
yeah,
Good
it
elevator
shows him,
music
yeah,
that's
so he's
playing.
bleeding, he got shot, so he grabs some stuff and he takes off running. And it says whoop, whoop, whoop. And then,
The alarm.
so what sound is that?
Alarm,
Police.
maybe?
Bullets?
The alarm,
Oh,
they've set off an
oh.
alarm.
And see how he's bleeding. They're gonna pick up the blood sample and be like, yep, that's that one dead kid.
Oh, because they took his, yeah, they
They
took.
took samples of it.
Yeah, he
Oh,
took samples.
wow.
So then again, he does the superhero drop,
Yeah.
right? Because that's how people really land in real life, when they
Yeah.
jump off of things, because he
No,
jumps off
usually
of
it's kinda
things.
like-
He's a female.
He's
So
just a
then,
superhero, that's why you roll.
He tries the door and he says it's locked. No time, they'll be right behind me any second now. And then he looks. So what do we think he's gonna do?
Jump
Shut
out the
up.
window.
Okay.
Tell the third story and everything.
Yeah,
So, do a flip.
so he basically is a daredevil too, right? So he drops down, he uses his foot, and then he jumps and smashes through the window. Does he even know where the window's going?
No.
No, right? So he's definitely a risk taker.
Oh,
He falls on someone.
no, he hit himself in the head.
And it
He
says,
falls on what's her name?
he says right here, knees bent, feet first, relax muscles, hit with the balls of feet, roll. Okay, so he's talking to himself, right? It's a thought bubble. So he's trying to save himself from injury.
Yeah.
What is that called in real life when they do this stuff? Starts with the P. Parkour.
Oh, when they
Parkour.
actually
Oh, I
do
think
it.
of like.
Wow.
I
You
was
think
like,
it's so-
I was
I
like,
like- I like how you
Yeah.
start talking about the top level, you're like, what is this called?
Yeah, because people really do that in real life. Ah, okay, right?
Parkour.
So, and then he lands, and then he says, get up. So does he actually land the way that he wants to?
No, he
No.
falls on someone.
So what, so what can we infer from this?
It didn't work.
It didn't work out, so he's probably what?
What are you thinking?
He's probably hurt.
What are you thinking? Like
His
this?
arms broken, and he just keeps on.
Okay. So then he says, ribs broken,
Oh,
my arm out. So he says, a manhole, good. Gotta get underground, gotta head back to Lake Sector. Then he hears something, obviously, and it says, freeze, stay where you are. Hands up, you're under arrest. So who's this?
The brother.
The brother.
Um,
So now they've met. What does it indicate that he's trying to get underground? There's probably,
his face or whatever.
yeah, that he probably is really knowledgeable. That's probably where people hide, right? Is underground. And in LA, there's probably lots of tunnels, right?
Yeah.
So let's see how this turns out. So he says, you're not going to take me alive, which is very cliche. I'm not gonna lie, right? All he has to say is copper at the end. And then it says, I'd be happy to take you in dead if you prefer. Okay, so then he throws some knives and thunk, and then he jumps down. Where does it hit him?
In the
And the
shoulder.
shoulder.
In the shoulder. Remember that. It hits him in the shoulder.
Well, if it said boom,
decapitation.
which I'm pretty sure a human body can't. make that noise. I'm pretty
But
sure-
so-
He has armor.
Yeah,
But so
armor.
far, has they killed anybody?
No. Just cut it off.
Decapitation is not good.
Okay,
Amputation.
so who's this again?
I hate
My sister.
The sister June. And it says Miss in Paris. That's their last name, June in Paris. She says, who is this? He says, Commander Jameson has requested you to come with me to the hospital. And she says, where's Matthias? Why? Where's my brother? And the guy doesn't say anything. And he says, I'm sorry, he's been killed.
What?
That killed him?
It hit him in the shoulder.
It's a lie.
It's a-
Wait, whoa, it said he killed himself?
No, it
No,
says
he's
he's
been
been
died.
killed.
In the shoulder.
So he must
Okay.
have faked his death.
Yes.
So
So
left.
let's see. Oh, I think
Never mind.
I skipped a whole page. Sorry about
Good
that,
job,
guys.
Miss Garcia.
Wow.
So there's actually this page where she's in the Jeep and she meets this woman and it says, move it in Paris, time is of the essence. Yes, Commander Jameson. So now we know Commander Jameson is a woman. And it says, your brother Matthias is dead. I'm of the understanding that you are almost done with your agent training, correct? And then she kneels down to look at something, and it says, the commander asked, what was your trial score? She said 1,500. Remember that number, 1,500. Now we can go here, okay? So, that's right, the prodigy. The only student in history of the Republic to earn a perfect score. Excellent. So what is she looking at now?
The body.
His body. And then the commander says, all right, cadet, consider this a pop quiz. Analyze the crime scene. So what can we tell about the commander?
She's a.
Yeah, she's not the
bad.
most sympathetic person, right? She's like, oh, your brother's dead.
No, examine his body.
Examine it and figure it out.
That's crazy.
Figure out who killed him.
Can I
And
ask?
she's very tough, and she's testing her because she got a perfect score, which was a 1,500, right? Okay. So. Now we're here. What does it indicate that it's drawn like this?
She's thinking.
She's thinking and she's what?
Analyze.
Analyzing it. So she says, whoever hit him with the knife either stabbed him from close range or has an incredible throwing arm, right-handed impressive aim. Whoever did this survived a 2.5-story jump and still had enough strength to escape. That's where he made his getaway. He's also left-handed. Interesting. He's ambidextrous. What does ambidextrous mean?
Use both hands.
Use both hands. He'll head to the city through the sewers. It'll be impossible to track him now, though. He's smart enough not to give us anything to track. So she got all of that from this. So we definitely know she's what?
Smart.
She's smart. But
Perspective.
what is she? Let's look at this body.
There's no
It's on
blood.
the shoulder. She doesn't realize, or no, that's on the right side.
Why
He
is
got
that
hit
It's
in
on the
left
right side. Where?
In his heart.
On his heart.
He got hit in
But
the
where
left
did they
shoulder.
hit him?
The
On
left
his
shoulder.
shoulder.
Right here,
Oh, wait.
right?
So something else did.
So it's a wrong body?
Something else did.
Just-
So-
So Dave probably took him into the sewers to like interrogate.
Is that what we did? Okay, so then it says, I'm going to give you a few minutes to collect your thoughts. Meet me in 2 minutes on the 3rd floor stairwell.
That's a lot of time.
And then she looks down and she says, what a waste of a good soldier.
You're not gonna say thank you
You're
for
a
your
waste
help?
of.
Thank
I
You're a waste
think,
of
I
blonde
think
hair.
they fake
Uh,
that.
So obviously we're not feeling
You're a waste of.
Commander Jameson, right?
It's a doggy.
So the commander walks away. What happens?
She gets angry.
She drops down to her knees and she says, you should have taken me with you. Sob, sob, right? Normally when you see a scene like this, what does that indicate?
Yeah.
They're feeling
Sad, right? Misery, kind of darkness closing in on you, right? And then she says, I swear, I will hunt you down. I will scour the streets of Los Angeles for you. Search every street in the Republic if I have to. I will trick you and deceive you, lie, cheat, and steal to find you, tempt you out of your hiding place, and chase you until you have nowhere else to run. Your life is mine. So she's a little upset, right?
Just a little bit.
Right, so now both Day and June have missions that they've sworn by, right?
Mhm.
What's Day's mission?
To take down.
To
the
take down the
Republic.
Take down the Republic, and now June's mission
To
is
kill
to
the
take
king.
him down. Because she thinks he did what?
Killed
Killed
her.
her.
Killed her brother, but we don't think that, right? We don't think he killed it. So now she's here at the house by herself.
Yeah.
How old is she again?
15.
15,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Forgot about
So she's looking, she has all the stuff scattered, she sighs, she's looking at paper, and then she has this. What is, this is a pendant,
Oh, that's the necklace.
the necklace, right? So now we definitely know that Day is Daniel, and he has the pendant. And she says, this is him, Ollie, this is the guy I'm gonna catch. Okay? So,
Right, so they had the pendant whenever he was fighting her brother.
yeah,
So how did the pendant get off?
because remember, he jumps,
He jumped.
Oh, yeah, balls.
he
That's
jumps.
a weak latch. Like,
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
the one that like people wear, like the one that.
Well, also think it's been 5 years, and he's probably been wearing it constantly. We know he's been doing,
Oh,
this
he's probably
parkour.
showered. He probably smells.
and he's been going to the
and he
sewers,
goes
right?
into-
Yeah, so his life is very different from June's, right?
Can I go to?
So that was the first 19 pages.
Can I go to?
So any questions?
Can I?
So I'm trying to get them to order something. But, so that's what we're gonna do is every day I'll just read it to you guys, we'll discuss it. And again, as long as y'all are interacting, no assessments, no quizzes, no nothing.
That's
I
good.
don't think that's-
Sound fair? All right, are y'all interested at least though? Does it seem interesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was harder. I wasn't interested until you started reading it.
It was hard to read. I
It
Oh,
was
know.
because to
hard
be
to read.
honest, I did not know it was a graphic novel, so I was not.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
hard.
You
I-
posted it and I was like, nah.
So I decided basically that I also want, it's gonna start over again. I wanted to do something lighter and fun, but still kind of can be analyzed. And I've read the book and it's really good.
Wait,
So-
so when did this book come out?
This one, because it came out as a novel first. The novel is part of a trilogy.
Okay. I know
Um,
there's a movie. that-
they're getting ready to make a movie about it.
Oh, there's a real movie.
And then it came out in 2015.
I remember a movie that Logan Paul in.
Wait,
Whatever her
there's
name
a
was, did a
movie?
movie like that.
They're making a movie about it.
Cause there's like, there's like so many things in one, like
Yeah.
a fallen
That's a
country, which leads into poverty and. like-
Apocalypse, post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yep, dystopian.
So like, basically it's
They're
Hunger
dead.
Games
They're
and
different.
it's like all these different ones into one.
Yep,
Huh?
exactly. It's all of them kind of wrapped into one.
It's Hunger Games or Star Wars.